every day and twice on Sunday. Yep, he can get it. The book of Tonya D. Floyd, he read it. When I spoke, I know he actually heard my thoughts, my feelings, my words. It's so very refreshing that he always asks me questions. He challenges me, engages me. He also enrages me. Sometimes I could just slap him at times. But mostly I want to be with him. I always feel so free with him. To laugh, to solve problems, to sleep, to play, to share, to eat, to argue about my boys and his skins. He's one of my bestest friends. Let there be no more mystery. He's totally the guy for me. At this time, in this place, all that's missing is a name and a face. Have you seen him? Do you know him? Tell him I'm waiting for him. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Signature Moves. I'm your host, Tonya D. Floyd, and I'd like to thank you for joining us on our very first broadcast. The first of many enlightening, entertaining adult broadcasts. We will try to keep it PG-13, but you never know. We have a hot topic to discuss tonight, but first I'd like you to meet my co-host and my special guest.
Jay Maestro, I'm sorry.
Jay Maestro,
I was going to try to just be the engineer on this thing. And
I
just
told you I'm basing you. I got questions for you. Get on this mic.
Oh my goodness, that's not going to be good.
That's right.
What's going on?
Got my special guest, Juan Shields. Good friend of mine. Oh, God, we go back like Reebok Classics, Used Jeans, K-Swiss, Haynes Point for summertime. You know, they don't let us in no more, but we used to own that joint, did we not?
Back in the day, I will say it was a must to see Haynes Point April to August, any time of the day.
That's right. I remember sometimes, but we're not going to talk about those right now because they way back then.
For sure.
All right, you've all heard the poem written by yours truly about finding that special someone. So now the question is, if he was someone I considered maybe a platonic friend, or say if he were a friend of someone I used to date, or, you know, a friend of someone who used to be more intimate with me, could we be together? Or are we crossing some invisible line? We're talking about man code, ladies and gents. Is there one? And if so, what are the rules? Let's talk about it.
Wow.
Juan, we're going to let you go first.
Oh, me first?
Yeah!
Oh, wow.
Give it up.
Okay, cool. I have no problem answering that question. Interesting, though, I will say, man code, whatever, right? Let's go back to something. You said that, can you be friends with someone exes? Is that what we're going with? Talking about the female, right?
We're talking about more than friends. We're talking about if I were looking for this guy and he just happened to be a friend of someone I used to be with.
Okay,
Is that cool?
Let's keep it 100. Being a man, you can always be with that friend. If that friend sees you in that sexual manner, he's going to be with you, whether you understand that or not.
Wow.
But I'm sure your question was posed to an emotional attachment as far as the relationship, right?
Actually, answer both sides for me, because I knew this was going to come up. I wasn't sure what side of the fence y'all were going to come down on. You know, men have a different way of looking at everything. But
it's only one side of the fence.
Okay, break it down. What you got?
Either a man want to be with you sexually or he don't.
Okay, so
now if he want to be with you emotionally, that's a whole different story. That entails a relationship with that.
Is that less cool than just having sex with me if I used to be with your man?
I never said it was less cool. But if he's a friend, those two men have to understand where their friendship is. Because the other aspect to that friend, is it a brother?
That's interesting.
Jay, you got something to say?
I'm just smiling because here's what I'm going to put out there. Ultimately, you got to look at what the consequences are going to be. And so ultimately, if all of a sudden, because like a lot of folks say, that was my girl and everything, and people can talk whatever they want until they get into that situation. Once they get into that situation, then it changes. They'll be like, oh, no, bro, it's all good. But the moment that they see the two of you together walking down, hand in hand, doing whatever, it's going to change some things because you're going to reminisce over me. My God. And you're going to all of a sudden remember what you once had. So, honestly, I think really people just need to be people and just be real with their feelings, because me personally, it probably would require me to bury my feelings, and it has nothing to do with anything else other than my feelings at that moment. And you're going to get in that moment. So if you all of a sudden with your boy and you're like, yo, I'm liking a girl that you were with at one point, and all of a sudden he might be, yeah, I'm fine with that, I'm cool, but then all of a sudden he see y'all walking down 14th Street holding hands. Be prepared for that.
Okay, but is there an obligation to even tell your man?
It's going to happen.
You're going to have to tell him.
It would be you gotta tell him?
It would be better if you did, because if he finds out later on, it's going to be misconstrued as you're trying to hide.
Not just that you're trying to hide it, but have you had these feelings before? Were you messing with her while we were together? Where all this come from?
And that's where some going to analyze it.
Exactly.
Yeah, some of them going to. Now, some guys going to some people going to analyze that, because now I think with females, they're going to already think that you were probably feeling that way a long time ago, and I don't think guys are going to be any different. Now, all of a sudden, he don't care, and I think it's going to be very rare. Because eventually it's going to get to him. It's going to irk him, because it's even going to be like, are you trying to do this to get to me? Are you trying to get back at me? And so a lot of the onslaught is going to be on the girl. And then she's going to turn around and look at you, who's dating her at this point, saying, why don't you defend my honor? But that's my boy. So, again, are you willing to get into that North Korea, Washington, D.C. conflict? Because that's what it's going to boil down to.
Let me tell y'all, I lost a couple of friends on this here debate, but it was a more open debate with men and women telling their sides of the whole thing. Okay, strangely, and I'm surprised, the women were saying, just like you said, pretty much the same thing. Were you thinking this all along? How long has this been going on, kind of thing? You've been looking at my husband behind my back. Okay, first of all, let's get this straight. I lost the friends because I said, sure, I could do it, and no, I wouldn't have to tell you.
You lost the friends because you just opened your mouth. That's all. You just voiced something.
I mean, seriously, it's like, we grown, you're done. Okay, I will put a caveat in it. Depending on the level of friendship I have with this particular woman.
Now, you see, that's why women catfight. That's why y'all go through what y'all go through. Like you just said, the level of friendship I have with that woman. Yeah. See, here's how men recognize men. If that's my man, that's my boy, I'm with you 50 grand no matter what. If a fight break off, we back to back if you're boys. Now, you women, y'all emotions go, man, left to right so much, you think it's a pendulum going on. But I'm not understanding why would you say that to a female that you, even if you consider her the remote least of your friends, why would you say that? Because right there and there, you just created a fight in your own house.
Okay, how it works is, and when I say levels, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only woman on the planet, but I'll take that beef and go first. If I was the one who's trying to date this guy, or if he was trying to date me, I know y'all done. If you're not my sister, my cousin, or somebody I've been, back to back with for the last 20-some years, you don't understand me. You don't understand my struggle. You don't understand half the stuff I'm saying out of my mouth. So, we're not on that level. You're just an associate to me. You somebody I know of, and I probably know of you through him.
Okay, I understand that.
Or as an attachment to him. So,
But it's still that whole emotional attachment. And it's almost, how do you divorce that from something that is so closely related? It's not like almost, think about it. Some females will actually get mad because of the fact that you loaned out a pair of shoes. It could be Gucci,
right.
It could be Jimmy, it could be whomever. And all of a sudden the heel comes back a little scuff. You could have done it before you gave it to her. But the point is that she didn't respect my stuff. She didn't respect anything. I ain't giving her crap no more. And then all of a sudden now you're going to heighten it up to a partner, a relationship. It gets, so you almost kind of say, do I want to even get into that situation in the first place? Do I really want to venture down? If I know I'm the blood and I'm walking down a Crips territory, there's going to be a problem. And it's almost like, yeah. So it's like, do I want to get into that problem?
It still goes back to the same old, what level are we on? if we that close and you loaning me your good pair of shoes, I'm probably not gonna be with your
So
man.
if she's loaning you you loaning her your good man, or is it for keeps?
If you somebody that I can't share shoes with or find handbags with, then I'm not telling you. And yes, I'm going to do it real good, and he's gonna be looking at you a little bit differently.
Wow.
Wow.
It's just how I feel about
Sorry,
it. Okay.
how long we known each other again?
20 what? 25, 26 years?
I was thinking I missed that somewhere that 26 years.
Did you?
Hey,
Oh
but I'm gonna tell you God's honest true story, and I don't know if I ever told you this. Along the lines of your situation, I'm not gonna name names because they that close.
Okay.
I used to date this female.
Uh-huh.
Purely sexual. I'm not even gonna lie. I had no feelings attached to her. Nothing. It was what it was. She, as I like to say, she served a purpose in my life at that time during my life. Now, I had something come up. She came over, whatever. We spent the morning, whatever. I had something come up. I had to roll. She was supposed to roll, but she chose to hang around. I knew somebody that was around, and I knew they was there all day. You know what I'm saying? They're saying to myself, well, I guess it was, I don't know if I was testing her or testing him. I just wanted to see would it get back to me. I left, they got together. Nothing ever was said about it.
No.
But of course, you can't hold stuff like that. A couple of years later, and of course the question been asked, you link up with Shawty while I was gone? Nah, I ain't do nothing, we ain't do nothing. They just rolled, whatever. Okay, cool. A couple of years come back. You know he did that with such and such. Oh, for real? Oh, yeah? Look, so what happened? Well, you know, you left. Well, you couldn't tell me this years ago. I didn't care about her. My relationship is with you. My friendship is, my relationship is with you. It's nothing else to do with her.
Okay, so the thing I said about levels, is this like, I mean, does it matter that he was supposed to be somebody so close to you, or if it was somebody that you just know from the court or from around the way, would it make a difference?
With this individual, it made a difference. Anybody else, like I said, my relationship with the female, because my relationship was what it was with her, it wouldn't have mattered. It never would have mattered. It wasn't about her with me. It was him. It's the same thing in reverse, pretty much.
Right.
It's all about your friendship or your relationship with that individual who you might consider dating their ex.
So how y'all gonna look at me funny because I said it depends on where we are? If she not my girl from way back or my sister, my cousin, then what do I owe her really?
But I think the piece that's missing is what he's saying is it would have been better for him not to even gotten into that situation in the first place because of the fact that there's a dynamics that we have with each other that could be compromised.
Yeah, it's about you being that friend. Where you and your friendship, your loyalty to friendship.
Okay, right. So your main man can't do that, but dude down the street can.
But we saying you in general, even though you might not consider her, where you with friendship.
That's what I'm talking about.
No. Forget that individual. Where you with friendship as a whole. What if it occurred to you?
It has.
Wow. So in other words, like they say on Shark Tank, you're dead in my eyes.
Nah, I'm cool.
But I mean, then later, let me ask you this then. Everybody's going to have some gripe in a friendship. Okay?
Right.
There's I don't think ever an idea where is that you're not going to see eye to eye. You're going to look at a little quasi in a friendship. Is there ever any redemption or forgiveness in a friendship?
Apparently there is. We got past it. We did all right.
But I mean, are you all right where you can break bread with this person, where you can actually, have a civilized relationship and maybe even constitute it as a friendship?
Absolutely.
Call her up right now.
She's
have a party right now.
Or him. Who
or
you
him.
calling?
Whatever. Call him up right now.
She's deceased, okay?
Oh, wow. We ain't have
Call her up right now.
It's not a convenient answer, but it happened to me in another way, too. I was actually that girl on the outside, and that guy came to me. But his ex-girl didn't appreciate it at all, and,
Well, that's a whole nother paradigm in itself right there. Because if you're married, for the most part, your exclusivity is to your wife or
Of
to your
course.
husband. And I mean, you may have friendships, and I mean, it should be expected that you have dynamic friendships, okay? But it also should be expected that, you know, if your wife ain't comfortable or your husband ain't comfortable with a situation, that you might have to kind of take you not might have to, but you will have to take their consideration or their feelings into, you know, into light.
Got a funny set of stories about that too. I swear, I just walk down the street and meet people's wives and their girlfriends, and the girlfriends and the wives just keep looking at me. They just like, I don't like her. It seems like they just picked me for no good reason. I didn't do nothing. Okay,
I told you
set
what
the
your
record
problem
straight
was.
on that.
I told you
Tell
what
me
your
again,
problem was.
what's my problem? Tell everybody, what's my problem?
You're a female, curvaceous, but you're too much of a boy.
But I don't think that's the problem.
That's a part of it. Because
I don't think that's
let me tell you why, Jay. This is the reason part of it. Because women look at her, okay, she fine, she girly, but when the guys come around, Tonya ain't got no problem getting on the knees playing cards. Ain't got no problem throwing a jersey on, go play football. Ain't no problem speaking sports. She know her business. She know how to handle herself around men.
Right.
So men will gravitate to, oh, you just like one of the guys. Kick.
Right.
But his woman ain't feeling her that way because you're spending time with her man.
But that's because she don't understand the dynamics of a woman that does that. Because true enough, there are some women that don't want to be involved in any of that because of how the stereotyping of women are.
Yeah.
That the only thing you are is to be girly, stilettos, short skirt, and so forth. Which in most cases, our wives or other women, girlfriends, would not want you to be around a female of that caliber.
True.
So in most cases, what it comes down to is what they are feeling maybe at that moment. Because it's like even with a guy, with a girl. If your girl was gorgeous, you know, was a singer, you know, great body, everything, and you married to her or dating her, and she all of a sudden wanted to pursue, let's say, a modeling career or a singing career. And all of a sudden the boyfriend is like, okay, your manager is spending so much time with you. You may both just thinking it's a business situation, but he's feeling like, no, he's
Looking at you too hard.
they're looking at you a little bit too hard, and so when you do that 11:30 to 2 o'clock in the morning, that you coming in from whatever work you're doing because of that industry, or it don't even have to be that you're working late. It's your boss, you know, and you're getting that same vibe. Some people just pick up a certain vibe, and that unfortunately you as the mate has to do a lot, and some of it means, if not all of it, you're going to have to really humble yourself, eat crow, and do some real backbending stuff to prove that, no, there is nothing else going on. And then you have to be honest with yourself, because sometimes I think we would like that extra attention.
I think all people want extra attention. Especially individuals such as you, Miss Floyd, who's flirtatious.
Oh, come on.
Oh, well, then later, there it is.
I don't bother people
There
when
it
they
is.
with their women.
There it is. Boy, you got a really big football.
Wow.
I'm good when they look.
Boy, you can swing that bat. and all of a sudden, she's supposed to be comfortable. She's supposed to be up there sitting comfortable like, oh, she's just joking.
I'm gonna use one of my timeouts right here. I just want y'all to know, for all my friends who are listening, if I've sort of ruined your relationship or made you have to do some penance at home or made you have to go and do that little extra Jay was talking about, I'm so very sorry that your woman is so insecure that she can't be around me.
How do you redeem yourself and then at the same time pull out a bazooka? Good grief.
They know.
Lord,
where I'm
the
coming
reason
from.
why I sin, because you made me so good looking.
I just need them to know that I'm really, truly sorry for all the pain I've caused.
Wow.
But in the meantime, gentlemen, let's take a little break and see what Jaheim has to say. I pretty much tend to agree with him on this thought right here. Keep your mouth shut. Let's listen to Hush.
Cannot believe this. We just laid it down. What are you gonna tell him when he comes back in town? Are you gonna let him know that I'm giving you the business? I tried my best to let it go, but I could not resist it. It's too tempting. I'm sipping, touching and feeling. Me and him be kicking it while all the while I'm hitting it. Woo. I know that that, girl, it's gonna be hard for me to run with him. Cause we be hooping and shit, that's my dog, my best friend. Said I would never let a chick come between me and my homie. Had a little too much to drink and the night you put it on me. And now I don't know if I regret the fact that we be up in them hotel suites. Baby, this is crazy, baby. You don't tell nobody, I won't tell no more. Baby, we can keep it on the hush, hush. Yeah, he is just too close to me. This is not supposed to be, but I can't keep you away from me. Sometimes I feel guilty, girl, sometimes I don't. I try my best to say no, but girl, you turn me on. And you were coming over to your home when I know that I'm not strong. Blowing up your phone, girl, checking to see if he's home. It's too tempting, I'm slipping, touching it, feeling me and him be kicking it, while all the while I'm hitting it. Woo. I know that, girl, it's gonna be hard for me to run with him. Cause we be hooping and shit, that's my dog, my best friend. Said I would never let a chick come between me and my homie. Had a little too much to drink and the night you put it on me. And now I don't know if I regret the fact that we be up in them hotel suites. Baby, this is crazy. Crazy. You don't tell nobody, and I won't tell nobody. Baby, we can keep it on the hush, hush. He is just too close to me. This is not supposed to be, but I can't keep you away from me. Sometimes I wish that this had never ever happened. I'm so glad that it's happening. I just don't know what to do. Girl, I'm so caught up with you. Should've never ever started. Gotta get him up out your closet, baby. You don't tell nobody, I won't tell nobody. Baby, we can keep it on the hush. He is just too close to me. This is not supposed to be, but I can't keep you away from me. Keep it on the hush. Hey, hey. Ooh, 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 yeah.
All right, we are back, and I agree fully, Jaheem. Tell it like it is. Just keep your mouth shut. Keep it on the hush. Do it in the dark or something. Wait for the light later on and then explain it. But anyway.
DTYD.
You better know it. Didn't I tell you that, buddy?
Basically.
That's what I'm doing anyway. So if y'all had some questions about what I might have been doing with your man, you better ask him, because I ain't never going to tell you. All right, so let me ask y'all.
Glad I don't know you.
Okay, look, I asked this question earlier, but let me ask it again. Is it worse for you to deal with your man's ex or to deal with your girl's girl?
Ooh, good question. Good question. Jay, you take it first. I
ain't dealing with none of them.
Good point.
Ball it up like a piece of paper and throw it in the trash can and hope I score a 3-pointer. Because, I mean, honestly, really, if I'm in a relationship, I don't care if it's the mama. Oh, I was about to say, how did I just walk into some, magic theater or something? But honestly and truthfully, if you're in a relationship and you're getting to know about that person, it's between you and that person. All right. And your girlfriend going to have all the opinions in the world, but you got to also find out what her motives are. I can't read hearts. I don't try to get in that business, but I definitely can read motives, or at least I can analyze what they are. Mm-hmm. And if it ain't coming off right, then later I need to find out how good of a friend you really are. And there's some stuff, no matter who they are, it's between you and that person and God for the most part. That's it. Because the simple fact that, if you try to get other people's opinion involved, especially other people that ain't married or not in a relationship that's moving somewhere seriously, you basically is going outside and getting a 6-year-old and asking them, so let me ask you a question. How do you think President Obama is handling the situation of closing Guantanamo Bay? I mean, come on. That is just, you're asking for trouble. That's my opinion.
My opinion is, you know me, 2 peas in a bucket.
Yes, I do.
Bottom line. My theory is, if you allow somebody to come in and affect our relationship, I wasn't meant to deal with you in the first place because you're not mentally strong enough to be with me.
Okay.
That's the first thing. Secondly, if I can sway you to change your mind and understand that I am in this relationship with you, you're going to check your friend and make sure your friend understand they can speak on anything that y'all want to speak about except me. They don't know me. They will not know me. They will not ever get to know me if you come back to me with something he say, she say.
But you know how women do. We tell
Doesn't matter.
everything.
Doesn't matter.
We talk to our girlfriends, our bartenders, our hairdressers.
Y'all got bartenders?
We might have a therapist.
Yeah, they do.
They got
Maybe.
bartenders?
Yeah, they do.
Wow.
Man, what?
I know
Feel your
several
gut
on
set
first
to go?
name basis.
I'm
Right.
saying, you talk to them, especially the men. You just sit there and you be like, look here.
Well, y'all work for drinks then.
I got this
Lush.
situation, blah,
Working.
blah, blah. You a man. Tell me what you think.
Lush.
What would you do while
Hold
you
on.
sitting there flirting at him the whole time?
Hold
Right.
on,
You know?
hold on. I bring
Now,
you
is it
some more
Isaac's?
drinks.
I mean, did he just get off the boat?
Stop it. But look, we talk about everything. So, yes, her girl does know all the kind of good stuff that you don't want her to know about you.
And that's the problem. Because then her girl is in your ear,
Of course.
and then she's in his bed.
Yeah,
But
that's how it
and
goes.
that's how the connection. Because ultimately, she gonna be like, "Girl, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Let
did with me.
work that out
He
here."
Right.
did with me.
Or she's taking notes, and she's waiting so that we can go to the first part of what your discussion was about, and that is her code. And see, the difference is that females have their own codes,
Yes, we do.
and it is pretty much individualized.
I should say they do.
Right, and honestly, your code may not match with
It don't.
your friend's code.
Guaranteed.
So you just basically need to if you got a problem with me as your mate, then that's who you need to talk to, or you need to find some good, solid people to pretty much bounce that advice off of. Versus, and it might be your friend, because your friend might have some valid points, but I think you have to be very careful with that because again, it could be twisted, and it could be basically you digging a hole for yourself.
You need to be a therapist with a license on the wall.
I agree with that to an extent, but sometimes in the heat of the moment,
Nah,
you just,
reason why? Because your friend claim they know you, and you think they know you, but don't mean they got your best interests.
oh yeah, that's true.
And it depends, but I think it depends on the friend because you
Exactly.
do, and I think you will know if that friend is someone. I mean, if that person has set you up, have put you in places where that you may be walking out of somewhere and you're a little tipsy and there's 5 guys holding on to you and she's sitting in the background laughing, I think you got a problem with her.
Right.
If all of a sudden
You got a problem with the 5 guys first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole different story.
So my thing is that if you have to not be blind to it. You have to kind of know who your associates are. You got to know who your friends are because they could be bad from the start, which could be corrupting you from the start. So
Remember when I told you my rule was about dating females back in the day?
What was that?
2 of them. 2 of them, for real. I didn't have that many girlfriends. I had several female friends.
Right.
But the difference in the options were if you can complete a complete sentence,
Yes, sir.
subject, phrase, and predicate, you stood a lot further on the ladder than the next.
Okay.
And that meant
That's really
that was very important for me. That's very important for me. And secondly, you should know this to be true. Not that many women ever made it to my house while my mother was home.
What's
3.
up, Coco?
And you ain't had to go there. 3. So my point is, you had to be on a friend level to me. Because Tonya almost ain't make it there. Tonya made it on her own. Yeah, what you doing? Yeah, we cooking out today. What's your address? I'm on my way. That's how she made it. That's how she made it. Honestly, and she met the whole family that day. We've been kicking this since. But yeah. So with female, it's a whole that friendship thing, man. It's real tough. I can count on my hand how many friends I have, and most of my friends 20 years plus.
Yep.
Tonya being one.
Okay.
What about your friend?
Exactly.
I only have a few left, y'all. I'm hanging on like, you know how you losing your hair, you got a few strands, got to put the wig
I'm not
on
there.
or
I'm
whatever.
going gray. Thank you.
Well, go gray. I'm trying to keep all, man. Why they keep popping up around my forehead like this, though? I don't understand. It could be some of that evil stuff I used to do when I was bad.
No,
But
just your brain expanding.
I'm getting better, y'all. I'm getting better.
You get
But look here. Juan and I have this thing we do called dropping jewels. I need you to give me one jewel for the day for my people. What is it that men don't want us to know or don't want to talk about to us? So drop a jewel right here.
What men, I would say, partner noise or man law violation in effect. What men, I would say, don't. Men probably wouldn't want women to know that they're more insecure than they probably think.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, he could look you in the eye, baby, everything gonna be okay, everything's fine, I got this covered. But in his heart, he's sweating bullets, not trying to explain to you the situation he may have gotten y'all in, or he's gotten himself in. So we're gonna go with that one today, understanding that men are insecure, and we have our moments just like y'all do.
Okay. I probably already knew that. However, let me think about that for a second. Okay. Insecure as in I'm trying to think of a good example here. Never mind, that'll be wicked for me to talk about that guy already. Alright, let's go to a song so I
Taylor
can
Swift.
not
Wow.
dime somebody out right
We found an African American Taylor Swift.
This
song is not about you.
Look here, I wrote a poem about it. Y'all can hear it in a minute, but let's go listen.
Wanna hear? Here we go.
Let's listen to Layla and Eric Roberson first talk about dealing.
We go from here. What do I do with these feelings? Longing to have you near. Knowing we shouldn't be dealing. Why must the bad things always feel so good? Why can't I just stay away? Though our situation was understood, still does not mean it's okay. Where do we go from here? What do I do with these feelings? Oh, no, 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 no. Longing to have you near. No, when we shouldn't be dealing. Oh, no. Why can't these memories just be erased? Why must I yearn for your kiss? The first moment we're not face to face reminds me how much you missed. Where do we go? Oh no. What do I do with these feelings? Longing to have you read. And we know it. Knowing we shouldn't be dealing. When the morning comes, and it's time for us to go our separate ways. And this night is done. I'll be wanting to hold on to you again. Wish we could push it all away. 'Cause then I know that we can show what we had from the day. Where do we go from here? I need to know, I need to know. What do I do with these feelings? Yeah, yeah. Longing to have and it will not be the same. Every day you feel like you play the same old game.
All right, we are back on Signature Moves. We had some offline conversations that, oh my goodness, they inspired me to read another poem I wrote. It's called Just Tell the Truth. I just need everybody to be on the same page when we're done here. No, I'm not a dirtbag. I've never played one on TV. I'm just a woman trying to be happy, that's all. All right, just tell the truth. I've always been confused as to why some people choose to lie. Like when a woman decides she wants to date more than one guy. Men do it all the time, but we treat them like they're dirt. If we would all just tell the truth, there would be fewer feelings hurt. Do you ever feel like you're pushed around because you have to tell lies? Does it make you the least bit irritated to need so many alibis? If you let people know where you're coming from, it keeps you in control, and you don't have to worry about remembering exactly which lies you told. If you're not ready for commitment, but you want to have some fun, just tell the other person exactly why you're not ready for one. If he or she has any sense, they'll slow their roll or walk away. If they try to force the issue, you don't want that one anyway. I just cannot understand why people keep getting stuck. This is your life we're talking about. Only you get to say what's up. What in the world? I've always been confused about why some people choose to lie, like when a woman decides she wants to date more than one guy. All right, that's the abbreviated version. You can pick up the rest in It Is What It Is Epiphany, released in 2013. It's still hot off the presses. Go get that. You want to read the rest of that poem and many, many more. There's a total of 65 of them in there. All kinds of wisdom from Tonya D. Floyd. So, look that up.
Or comedy.
Along with the other 5 books that are out there for you. Let's get back to this topic a little bit, though. Let's talk about cheating on your mate versus... It doesn't matter whether it's with your friend's girl, your girl's ex-friend, or whoever, your sister down the street. Is it like some kind of moral opposed type situation when a man cheats on his own mate? Is that like terrible?
I'm confused with
in
the
the male
question.
world?
I'm confused with the question too.
Why are you confused?
Because I'm trying to figure out what are you saying? Is it wrong to cheat?
Exactly.
Basically.
Yeah, it's wrong to cheat.
People do it all the time. I'm just kind of confused because it happens so often.
Are you trying
like
to,
everywhere?
I'm sorry. Are you trying to ask why don't men think it's more morally wrong to cheat? Is that what you're trying to ask?
I don't want to frame it that way because that would assume that I believe that they think it's okay in some way. I'm asking, is it or
Well, your
is it
question
not?
is confusing.
Is it okay or is it not?
I'm so confused.
No, it's not okay to cheat at
Okay,
all.
so why does it happen all the time?
It happens all the time.
People make stupid decisions.
Or, I totally agree, and that's the number one on the list.
Stupid
number,
decisions.
Number
Stupid
two.
decisions.
Number two. Men like things strange.
Okay.
I think people like things strange. I think
I should have said that.
Because
Yeah,
I mean,
couples.
I think where Tonya was coming from is in today's society is women get a worse labeling if they go out and cheat, if they have an extramarital affair, if they go out here and have multiple sexual partners. Or
That's
multiple
not just
guys.
today's society. That's been over the years.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, yeah, and it's never changed. But now you have a resonating standing, almost a front from women right now. And that's why, me personally, I can't even really go in that direction of the name. But that's why a lot of women adopt the name, I'm a B-I-T-C-H.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, and to some form, it is almost a justification or branding, I think. Which I think you should never call yourself that. I don't see you that way. If I see you that way, it's because you're on the same level as Osama bin Laden to me.
Oh, wow.
Okay? You're on the same level as Satan with me. If I have to get there to that point, those are the two people that basically you have allowed me to categorize you as. But ultimately, because you did something stupid, you said something crazy, you cursed me out, maybe you even got a good hit on. Ultimately, I don't think you're that. But society today has made women, and always has, that if you cheat, oh my goodness, you are the filth, you are the most disgusting thing of the world. How could you do something that deplorable? Whereas that really is the same deplorable thing a man did. And if you're a guy and you did it, and all of us, it starts with the heart for the most part. So if you, in your heart you already feel like, I can look and I don't have to touch. you're already starting down that path.
Real quick, Jay, let me address what you just said. I totally agree with you. Only had one thing to add. Years society have done that to women. I totally agree with that. But I must say, in this new millennium that we're in, the young millennium that it is, women are starting to take that role of being, quote unquote, a bitch or a slut with a badge of honor, it seems like to me.
Right.
And with a lot of things that they're doing, I don't think they fully understand or grasp. That's fine. Men gonna look. Even women gonna look. But who's gonna marry you?
Right.
Who's gonna take you home to meet mom?
And I think some of them don't care. And really,
Anymore.
ultimately,
Exactly.
society has put out there, you shouldn't have to care. Because you don't need a man to take care of you.
And you know why? Because they're making money off of it.
Right.
If it wasn't for that, then we'd be back to, oh, you just hidden in the closet.
And that's what it comes down to, really, is economics in a lot of cases. Because really, if you strip away the money, because a lot of women think, I don't need no man. But you still may have some type of sexual encounter with them. And I'm not trying to venture into this way. I'll just throw this out there. Some may not like it. But even for those that have same-sex relationships, the process, the activity, the things you're doing is as if you would have done it with a male. You know, it's still prosthetics or whatever you want to use.
Right.
But the point is that it's a mindset that really is almost like a brainwashing in some cases, because it really comes down to the reason why you feel this way is because you want to be able to protect yourself or secure yourself. If I took those economics away from you, then what are you going to do? If all of a sudden the dollar is not worth nothing, or the dollar you made don't contribute or even equaled up to that, then what all of a sudden you got?
How you gonna eat?
You know, so I mean, you got to kind of almost separate all those things and basically like you're grouping them together and you're trying to make them work. But it's like looking at a big old hoopty running down the street with 3 tires, you know, and half a window and one headlight gone. It's still going to ride down the street, but how difficult is it going to roll down the street? So I just think really it's a mindset, and really it's bad on both ends. If a man cheats, it's bad, and it's at the same polarity as if a woman cheats.
I wrote a couple of other books called Timeless Thoughts and Words of Wisdom from the Mind of Tonya D. Floyd. Volume 2 covered a lot of relationship issues, and one of the things I said in that was, why do men cheat? For the same reasons women cheat.
Because
basically,
they're going to.
There's some kind of perceived need that either one has, or because there's some kind of selfish desire to see if they can get away with it, or, I mean, the list goes on, but it's not a whole lot different between the male and female sexes.
Yeah, it's no mystery.
But at the same time,
It's no mystery.
you said something that I need to address. I might not be speaking for all women because I usually am not.
Speak
I'm
quickly.
speaking for me. Let me just say, I need a man. Whether I need one financially or not, it's totally irrelevant.
Right.
Because he can do some stuff that I cannot.
Wowzers.
I choose man, okay?
This has been a public service announcement from Tonya D. Floyd from Signature Moves.
Yes.
I don't need him to make a whole lot of money. I don't need him to be the finest. I don't need him to be a whole lot other than respectful, good
so if
to
he
look
biggie
at,
on the corner, you good.
and good to me.
And just brush your
but
teeth
I
once
need him,
occasionally.
okay?
Let's
Brush
get
your
a
teeth.
taste of the Colgate, a little sprinkle of Old Spice, or maybe some type of Armani Black. I'll throw Armani Black. That's my favorite.
Oh my God, these guys here are something else. I want to thank you all for joining us this evening on
Fire
Signature
department on their way.
Moves.
Yeah.
Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for not laughing at me too much, because, I'm not your average girl, but that's the good part about me. Oh, Lordy, what a conversation this has been. We got our producer over here who's making faces. She's not saying anything, but she was loving this whole conversation.
She spoke earlier.
Shout out to Shadana Diva.
Wowzers.
We're going to lead out with Keisha Cole, Trust and Believe. Thanks, Keisha, for taking us away on Signature Moves tonight.
Need my lady a minute, please.
Whatever. Look at us now, thinking of all your excuses, but they don't matter.